Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Tonight, as you know, as you're coming into the room, let us know that you're here. Tonight, we have a special guest on the edition of Canna We Talk with the ladies of Canna Kitchen. Today, we have the Jewish sauce boss, gentleman, Mr. Edelstein, that's coming to join us, and he's going to talk about all things cannabis with the ladies. I'm so glad you could join us tonight. But before we start, let me bring the ladies into the room. Look at we live. You eating snacks.
We live.
We
live. Hold on. The hair flip.
There we go. And Will's in the building. I call him. This is the second time I said Will. Mr. Edelstein, the Jewish sauce boss, is in the building. So
that's what he prefers.
Mr. Edelstein or Jewish sauce boss?
No, Jewish sauce boss.
Okay, Jewish sauce boss. Okay, wonderful. All right, so you know what? How are you ladies tonight?
We're good. This weather's horrible. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm listening.
Allergies. I took my medicine, but
yeah, this is the weather for it, and this weather's crazy. And as I understand it, we're supposed to get more winter. I think that the groundhog saw his shadow or whatever it is. So, yeah.
And we're getting 6 more weeks or
Wait, but isn't that February 2nd or something that happens?
I don't know. I really don't care because the weather really don't.
I think it's now or soon or something.
No, I believe it's Groundhog Day. It's like February 1st or February 2nd.
Okay, so So we didn't see no shadows yet.
So Ms. Bertha,
but it was snowing.
Yeah, it was snowing earlier today. Ms. Bertha just left a comment in the room. She says she's stuck in traffic. Listen, drive safely. That's the most important part, right?
Yeah. There's I'm on the way here. I saw a few accidents myself.
Yeah, it's standstill. My wife was telling me on the express bus the HOV lane was at a standstill, which is incredible to hear. That's how you know the traffic is bad. When the HOV lane is clogged up, it's a bad situation. So, Mr. Edelstein, the Jewish sauce boss, is in the building. He's adjusting his camera. Once it's still, let's bring him in the room and start this conversation. All right, ladies?
Yeah, we're ready.
You guys need to calm down. All right, here we go. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Canna We Talk, the Jewish sauce boss. Good evening.
Hello, what up?
Hey.
How's everybody?
Hi.
What's going on, guys?
How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good. I'm glad you made it. Welcome. Glad to have you on the show.
Yeah, it's great to see you guys again.
Yeah, it's been a while. The last time I saw him, we were at Weiss.
No, the same time Weiss.
Weiss.
You're actually going to be in New York this weekend, right? You told me.
Potentially, I'm kind of deciding between today and tomorrow, but yeah, I hope I get up there. I love it up there.
Nice.
Where are you now?
Philadelphia.
Philly, brotherly love.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Is that the home base?
Home base is Philadelphia. We got a great office location on South Street, 411 South Street, and that's home base. That's where we do our day-to-day operations and, mainly our medical marijuana business, facilitating the entry into the med programs of Pennsylvania and New Jersey, and, being of service to the community. So that's like the day-to-day for us.
Nice.
Wonderful.
Nice.
So, Mr. Edelstein, or the Mr. Sauce Boss, if you would, the Jewish sauce boss.
Yes.
I wanted to ask you because I find that this new business, the explosion of it, it's taking the country by storm, pretty much. It's a great source of income, tax revenue, and so on. And it gives the ability to certain people to really create some financial freedom for themselves, right? But what I'd really like to know, especially with using, the name Jewish in front of your pseudonym or whatever you would call it, how has your community received it? Because growing up in New York City, and the ladies might feel the same way, I grew up on the edge, the outskirts of a Hasidic community.
Yep.
So, you know, certain people understand that there's a difference between the Hasidic community and what I would like to term the Seinfeld community, right? There is a difference.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Right. There's a difference, you know, and I know I've been around the Seinfelds and I've been in sports with the Hasidic community. So I know there's a huge difference, one, but there's a lot of likeness as well. But what I would like to know is how you have been received in your community, delving into this business.
I'm definitely curious too, because I'm born and raised in Borough Park, Brooklyn. So like I have a Reverton. So like when I'm talking about, I know the community well. I know the community extremely well. So I'm curious as to how you're perceived in your community and how that goes for you. How you even started, like
how, and the stigmas.
How did you get the chutzpah to do this? The chutzpah. I want to know.
And also, are the stigmas the same, you know, culturally across different religions and communities? Because you're right, Mr. A. I've worked for Jewish people and then I've worked for Hasidic and Orthodox, and there is a difference, right? One religion is definitely more insular and has stricter rules, and another one is more relaxed.
It's fun. So I launched Jewish Sauce Boss, the brand, 5 years ago, a little over 5 years ago now, with the sole mission of changing the stigma of cannabis. That was the onset, how I showed up. And
Sally was here, we'd be making those noises right now.
Right. So someone said, you know, what are you doing here? What is this and that? So the first goal, change the stigma, right? Showing up like this, calling myself Jewish Sauce Boss, has been received differently from many, many, many people. And I would say over the years, the acceptance and the stigma has subsided somewhat for me. Intertwining the brand of Jewish Sauce Boss to service the cannabis industry and the community, and really lead with love and a lot of the values that are found within Judaism, right? So when I started, I aligned myself with, you know, what I believe in, my beliefs and my values, and that's really where the Jewish part comes in. And there's a phrase called Tikkun Olam, which means repair the world. And I look at cannabis as a vehicle and a plant and a tool to help repair the world. And we've seen that time and time again played out for whether you want to call it a patient or a consumer, or, you know, really whatever the person falls into the category of. Plant medicine has helped improve the quality of their life, right? And with my platform and my business and my brand, I've just stayed true to the mission every day. So whether you're a Orthodox, you know, from Brooklyn, you know, you shut down Friday night for Shabbat and you don't come back online until, you know, sundown Saturday.
Right.
I've been able to build really great relationships with everybody from, you know, the Seinfeld realm of Judaism. Well, and I like that a lot. I'm going to say
he's going to use that one.
Yeah, that's a good one. I got to
talk to my New York homies. They got to put me on. But at the end of the day, it's really just showing up and being of service and helping. And if at that time someone doesn't really understand, or they don't really like it, or this and that, I just respect that. You know, I'm not trying to force my message down your throat. And it's really not. It's not about religion. It's just about how I thought I could show up and make a difference and an impact within the cannabis community, and be able to brand myself as something that is memorable, can make an impact, can kind of be bigger than myself. And with the brand and the platforms and social media and helping, you know, lots of people get access to plant medicine and these med programs in the states that we serve, it's allowed me to just show up every day and be consistent and stay focused on my mission and never back down from what I've created, despite people not liking it or not really wanting to subscribe to it, or, you know, vice versa. I've just stayed true to myself, and the community has definitely come around. You know, for example,
find that your numbers have gone up within your own community in the medical cannabis programs. Like there's more people coming towards it instead of staying away from it. You find that your numbers.
I believe it's been integrated into society to a point where it's impacting so many industries and areas of life that if you're not taking a moment to observe and understand or ask the questions or utilize the people who are in it, then you might be missing the mark. Because I've had the opportunity to build, you know, great relationships with the Jewish community. You know, we do work at the Jewish community centers, and one of the most meaningful projects I ever got to do was back in 2019 when we did an education seminar for Holocaust survivors. And there was about 25 beautiful souls in the room, and we got to talk and interact. And, you know, I got to rub some CBD lotion on 90-plus-year-old ladies' hands.
Nachas and cannabis, it goes hand in hand.
Yes.
That's your slogan, Nachas and cannabis, all together. Get the love going.
Exactly.
That's
and
one
really,
of the things that I like about your message, because it's similar to what we're trying to do with our company, right? We make infused cooking products so that you can make your own savory foods, right? Because when you have an edible that's mostly sugar-based and it's not nutrient-based, like we make infused cooking oils, a cooking base called sofrito. I know you're around Spanish people, so you're familiar. We make sugar now, tinctures. We're working on honey. And it's a way to introduce it in a different way, because there are people that are never going to smoke it. They're never going to be open to smoking the plant.
And this is a way they could consume it, and it could be for medicinal purposes as well. And they're to stimulate an appetite, maybe to help with seizures. Well, I mean, whatever the list, you know, goes on and on.
And really, it's a whole nother component to the industry, which, you know, you see in certain marketplaces. But cannabis hospitality is going to be a massive industry.
Yes.
You know, one day your spices or your products could be distributed through major food providers like a Cisco, a US Foods, and this or that.
That's the dream.
That's it. There you go.
It's a matter of just you know, taking your time in the marketplace, letting it develop, building your brand, staying true to yourselves, and having one of the best products available, because cannabis is impacting every industry, from food to medicine to pharma, every single thing. And there will be a moment of truth where brands shine through and come through. And, you know, I get excited for anybody who's taking the leap of faith right now, because it's still embryonic.
Yes, it's
Brand
It's
So I would love any insights that you could give us, you know, after this podcast. Yes, I would definitely like to meet up with you and kind of talk and exchange some ideas, because I know you've been at this a while now, so you're a veteran.
I'm happy to help and continue that conversation offline and just, you know, help with the business and, you know, strategy and whatever, right? So that's what I do as well. Like, I've built a brand and built a business, and, you know, with doing something and living it and having some results to stand on, I enjoy helping other businesses, right? That's a part of what I do day to day. You know, you're seeing New Jersey, New York, you know, Maryland just legalized. All these states surrounding the state I live in are legalizing their marketplaces, and I'm very excited for when Pennsylvania hopefully does. But until then, I'm going to continue to serve, right, and find, you know, mutually beneficial relationships that I can come in and make a difference or push it forward, or, you know, and make that impact I love to make, whether it's getting you a med card or growing your business or bringing the fire on a podcast and having a good time with cool people. Like, that's what it's about.
Didn't they just have a Canna Fest in PA a few days ago or something?
So I don't know if it was last week or 2 weeks ago, we had what was called the Canna Med Show. It was a Pennsylvania cannabis festival. Mm-hmm. And it was incredible. I mean, it was pretty open. I guess for me to stay politically correct on this,
You don't have to.
to keep
listen, not a
but,
say what you need to say.
but the event was amazing. The people who hosted the event and the organizers were on point. They understood, what people were there and trying to accomplish. And as somebody who had an events business for about 18 months and did everything in that capacity in Philadelphia, everything from cannabis yoga events to education and networking to this and that and this and that. Events are crucial, right? Bringing the people together.
Yeah, that's the network. That's where the magic happens, for sure.
Building that marketplace is exciting stuff. I mean, it's wild. There's so many people out here who are trying to break through or trying to make a name or trying to come up and have a shot at this once in a lifetime change, because there's no precedence for anything, especially nothing that happened in California can set a tone for New York. New York's its own thing. You know what I'm saying? New York's going to become a cannabis market that is going to be the biggest cannabis market in the world. The Northeast hub between New York, New Jersey, and all these 40 million people that live here, the cannabis marketplace is going to go nuts.
Absolutely. It's already starting. People aren't even listening. How many businesses are not even supposed to be operational? And they're basically going, we're doing it anyway. People are coming in anyway. I personally have friends that go to this one particular shop that literally got raided, on TV, owner in handcuffs. They literally opened up days later. And when I walked in and I was like, is there really 26 different jars of cannabis up on this counter right now? Literally, they should have literally just put a big this right in the window, because and it's everywhere. You hear, oh no, they're gonna get raided, and you see the raids happening, but the businesses
because it's a gray area right now, because the laws are being written, so there is some leniency, and you can kind of take advantage a little bit because nothing is firm, nothing is stated, in black and white. And speaking to what you were talking about, one of the things I've been talking to my partners is that we definitely have to be exposed to this tri-state area, and we have to start attending, as a company, even if it's just to attend the event. But like you do, you advertise yourself, you're in your Jewish Sauce Boss t-shirt all the time.
I love it.
And we have to start going to outside of New York as well, because of course, New York City is one, but New York State, that area upstate is another, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. We have to branch out as well. And that's one of the things that I would like to eventually talk to you about, because it's a goal I have for this year.
Yeah. So are you guys right now focusing on the person who is making their own dinner, or who's the target customer for your products?
Wholesale, retail, anyone who wants to buy them. We test our potency, everything is labeled strain specific. We do a variety of oils as well,
from highs to lows, anything. So we're just, listen, the goal here is, like you said, to be in the kitchen cabinets, it not to be looked at as anything other than just another brand of olive oil or avocado oil that's in the kitchen cabinet. There might be, mommy's special oil or grandma's special, whatever it is, I don't care. But the goal is that, to be so mainstream that it's in the cabinets, just like everything else. So whatever market that is, and for me personally, the medical aspect of it and being able to make a difference in someone's life, without having to be taking so many prescription medicines, that for me is the best part of it. And that's what I like to emphasize with our products. That's what I'm trying to get out there. We're trying to get out there as well.
For example, some of your clients maybe that are older, that, still grew up in that baby boomer, older generations that would not feel comfortable smoking it, and they don't want to have an edible that's all sugar. They could make something for themselves, whatever their favorite recipe, control the dosage, and feel comfortable that they're getting that plant medicine in a healthy way.
I like it. So is New York going, so all right, 6 months from now I go to a dispensary in New York. Are they going to sell products like yours? Are you going to be able to put them into dispensary?
We definitely are trying. That's
the goal.
Every opportunity that we see to speak to someone that has a dispensary, going into dispensary business, we're walking into smoke shops asking them if they want to carry our products. Like
now, our business, I'm definitely on top of the Office of Cannabis Management here in New York. Our business would fall under a micro license, and they're not even there yet. They just gave the first round of, I believe it was 25 licenses just this week alone.
Mm-hmm.
They are so behind in their timeline of the process because of various things, right? It's New York State, democratic bureaucracy, COVID. It was like a perfect storm of red tape delays. So they're still very much in their infancy with licenses. That's why, like she was saying, people are popping up dispensaries. And yes, they're getting arrested, but they're getting a desk appearance ticket because right now it's such a gray area. It's been decriminalized, but there are not laws set in place yet of how they're going to move forward.
I like it. So do you guys do like cooking classes, or
We're not there yet. We're trying to get our products. Let me go and get some products.
We're not there yet. We're not doing. But that's a good idea.
Yeah.
My biggest thing is there's still so much that people don't know when it comes to the edible aspect of cannabis. So a lot of people are scared, and then some people have real crazy experiences with edibles. Because they don't know how to gauge how much they should be consuming and the time frame and whatnot. So I know any events that we do, one of the main things is, making sure that we have our labels on with all the information, because people need the information. They need to know, like, if I take a teaspoon of this sofrito, how much cannabis is going to be in my food afterwards. So we have everything labeled with
this is one of our coconut oils.
Yes.
And then on the back it has the dosage, and I break it down by the whole ounce, and then by 1 ounce, and by tablespoon.
Oh, nice.
So know exactly where you're getting, and then you could also scan the QR code and you would get that information there. So
I have a question. Go ahead. There's a lot of information being exchanged here, and I think I want to sort of add something to the mix, because I see there could be a possible breakthrough in this moment. Being that I want to call you Will,
that's my name, brother. That's my
all
name.
right, cool. All right, I wanna give Will the opportunity to sort of give you guys some insight into how he approached opening the door for himself. Like what was the research that he did, and then when he understood the direction he wanted to go in, what steps did he take? You know what I'm saying? Because you guys are coming with a product, and I'm sure that Will has his hands in a variety of different products and does all these things, right? But he started somewhere, right? So Will, where did you start, and how did you start creating the doors to, getting the keys to open the doors for yourself?
So my background is the hospitality industry, right? So from 16 years old till 26, that's what I did. Restaurants, nightclubs, casinos, all of that. So providing service is just in my blood. It's in my nature. It's just who I am. Provide good service, take care of the customer, and just make sure everybody has a unique and memorable experience. So in 2017, when I was, ideating and thinking and making my plans, and came up with the name Jewish Sauce Boss, I said, okay, the name's cool. I think it's cool. It seems like it could gain some momentum here. What's the strategy? How is this even going to be a thing? So in March 2nd, 2018, I did my first cannabis event. And as I mentioned, I had a cannabis events business. That was the first thing I did. but I didn't even have a business yet. I just decided to host a cannabis education seminar, and we started to cultivate these cannabis education experiences. So the first event I did 5 years ago, when I had nothing and just showed up and said, I'm Jewish sauce boss. And that basically meant nothing, but it meant something to me. So we curated an event where we did a speaking portion with a cannabis operator, someone who was part of a license in Pennsylvania, one of our medical marijuana dispensaries. He was the chief operating officer and was kind enough to come and speak at the event. And then I worked with a bunch of vendors, and I had a great caterer. We got a local vodka company to sponsor who has like a good brand. I worked with a hemp iced tea brand, and that was really cool. And then the last, I would say highlight was we did a salsa dance lesson at the end of the event. Yeah. So everybody did the thing, they networked, got a little food, they sat down, they were educated. And then to end it and make it fun and loosen up everybody, we had a dance instructor there. We did the salsa dance lesson. Everybody danced and we had a good time. And then I did that again the next month. And then I did it again another month. And then I said, you know what, let me try and do a different type of event. And then I started doing other events and other events and other events. And, before I knew it, I was hosting 150, 200 person events where I was having professional athletes come and speak. I had the medical marijuana doctors on site, the dispensaries on site, the growers on site, just all the brands, the insurance company, everybody who was helping bring this marketplace to life. We were the conduit to the event space at that time in about 2018, 2019. And it was amazing, and that's where I saw an opportunity to shift gears. I've always done events here and there. It's just part of what I love to do. So I do it. But, I switched gears into understanding the medical marijuana programs in Pennsylvania specifically, and then New Jersey after that. And the unique thing about Pennsylvania was the doctors in Pennsylvania were not allowed to market, promote, or advertise themselves as a weed doctor or a marijuana physician. So they were all hungry to get patients, but couldn't promote it. If you're doing Botox injections, you could be like, yo, I'm the guy, come get the Botox, but for whatever reason, the language of the legislation prohibited physicians to actively promote and advertise themselves to do that service. So I saw this opportunity as someone who's galvanized the community, met the doctors. I am a patient. I understood how cumbersome and horrible the process was to get a card. And I just said, I can do this better. And then we started to host patient sign-up events where we got you a med card. And this was all done before telemedicine was even legal. Everything had to be paid in cash. It was really wild. It just taught me everything I've learned up until this moment about you just got to do it. You got to step out of your comfort zone. You got to believe in yourself. You got to know whether you fall on your face. You got to pick yourself back up and do it again. And business is the hardest thing in the world to do, because it's unforgiving, it's ruthless, it'll drive you to the brink. But for some reason, if you love it and it's in you, you keep coming back for more. At least I do. And,
it's like marriage.
Yeah, it's like marriage.
Mrs. A, I'm playing.
We love you. We love you.
Yeah.
But, it's wild. So, you got to be willing to just go through the trials and tribulations of the ups and the downs, and not get too high on the highs and not too low on the lows, but, stay focused on the mission. And, when you're high or low, if you're mission focused, then you're kind of just on that course and you're not going to get off of it no matter what. So for me, it's just those fundamental things. Just don't give up, keep going, keep trying, find a way. And at the end of it, you're going to come up for air and say, okay, I'm doing my thing. I built this business. I've helped people. I service a marketplace. I have a product. I have a service. I have repeat customers. I have revenue. All
Right.
these things
All
that
the
come along.
wonderful things.
But it's not without its challenges. So I think it is there, the generational wealth concept, the ability to change lives and hopefully right a lot of the wrongs from a treacherous strategy of criminalizing and demonizing people who associate with the plant for 100 years. It's time to come.
That's truly the hardest part, is destigmatizing what is the fact that it's been decriminalized it's a huge step, because a lot of people now, just because of that, will view it differently, but the stigmas are still there.
So one of my issues is, marijuana is a word that has racist roots. I personally, they keep saying medical marijuana. And one of the things that I told my partners is that we don't call it marijuana.
Yeah.
We say cannabis.
Mm-hmm.
And I find it very frustrating that in the medical community, they're still using that word, that verbiage, and that language. That to me bothers me. And I think that hinders the message to destigmatize it, because we know the origins of that word and how that came about.
Yes, that's 100% facts. I mean, listen, cannabis prohibition is rooted in racism.
Of course.
Exactly. So it's a battle we're fighting all across.
The crazy thing is that it's not only, the plant, because hemp, everything that they make for plastic, everything, they can make it out of hemp. They can even make something called hempcrete, which is similar to concrete and becomes stronger over time. And hemp fibers, hemp clothing, it's another thing that just gets better over time. So that's another part of the industry that I would like to look into, because another thing that I'm looking into is making CBD versions of all our products as well.
I think that's a great idea, because with that, it lets you into places that
like the THC doesn't allow us to go yet.
Yeah, like I have friends who have product lines, right? Whether it's a drink or a vape or a topical or whatever it might be, right? It's always good to have where you can service as much of the market as possible, because you can still talk about everything you're talking about. You still educate on everything you're educating about. And then in the marketplaces where you can service the THC community, you do that. But, if you're able to, get into Whole Foods, or if you're able to get into a grocery or a distributor or this or that, that would be really cool to have that option as you're looking and kind of waiting for the municipalities and the governments to kind of get their stuff right.
I think that the one thing that you ladies, and I'm listening to Will and what he's saying and how he started, and what he utilized for himself. He used his hospitality, basic, like his business understanding, right? He used that as his launch pad, right? And not only that, but then he went out and he sort of networked and he got people on board for his event. Like, I'm going to do the speaking event. I'm going to have this doctor come in. I'm going to incorporate this iced tea people and this one and that one, right? For me, at the time that legalization opens up for a product like yours, you guys should be hitting the neighborhood. The events thing, like these young ladies, they're very high energy and they're very focused and they're driven, and they've done events before. That's part of who they are, right? So right now, you guys should use your resources, and that's the neighborhood. Once the neighborhood opens up, boop, right to the bodegas, right to the Ara stores.
Yep, the Aki
Listen,
stores, all of them. Yes, 100%.
But right? I also think if we branch out, like out of New York City proper, because there's other areas, other counties, other municipalities that may be a little ahead in their laws and in their legislation. Like there's huge cannabis events that happen in upstate New York all the time. Another place that they told me that we should be going to when it opens back up is the Greenpoint Market, because, our customers, the people who smoke it and are smokers, yes, may be interested in our product, but
We lost Will.
Oh, we sure did. What
How did that
happened?
happen?
He may have a technical difficulty.
Maybe
on
he's
his
having
end.
technical difficulties on his end.
He's in Philly. What could be
Yes.
going wrong over there? Huh.
Listen,
Okay.
we're living in
No.
time. We're living in
All right.
times where anything could have happened. Who knows? Who knows what? Pero que he's bien. He's
Eso
okay.
fue el diablo. Eso fue el
I don't know
diablo.
what that was, pero either way, it was a lot of stuff that was being said, a lot of information that we were dropping thus far. We can even continue with that until see if he joins us back in some time to see what
I think, yeah, I think given this opportunity to talk to Will, like I'm trying not to have much to say myself because I want to hear what he has to say.
Right? Yeah,
This
look, he had
guy-
a lot. Yeah, this guy, he got the
I
mic.
did some. I seen a little. I've done a little research on him prior to the show, and I was like, "Yo, this fucking guy's everywhere. Like people know him, right? And he's doing things."
Yes.
So I'm like, "Yo, I'm of the
I mean, he
mindset
stood
like."
out. When we went to Atlantic City and we went to Weiss, the women in the cannabis industry, that's where we met him. I mean, and he stuck out. Like he was just like, this is who I am. And then, he was like, Brooklyn. I'm like, Jewish. Wait a minute, so you probably have people in Borough Park. And from there, the conversation just kept going. And you do a little bit of research and he pops up in your research somewhere.
Yeah, it was like easy. I was like, holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
I really wanted to know if he is actually trying to fund grows. Like I wanted to know more about like the business side of what he's doing. Is he just doing events? Is he gonna fund a grow? Is he opening up his own dispensary? So like I wanted to get into that sort of like end of the pool.
Can you
right?
see if you can reach him on the side, maybe?
Yes, I'm thinking that he was calling from his phone and it died.
His phone died.
No.
Terrible to do. You when you do this on your phone, you have to have it plugged into power, like consistent.
Yes.
And I think he was smoking before he got on the show. I'm sure.
No.
So he probably didn't realize. He probably got careless.
Maybe.
Yeah, he probably didn't realize like, oh shit, I got
Well,
like
I do
15%.
know he does collaborations. He has his fingers in a few different things. That I know.
Look. Did I not tell you guys that before?
Yeah. We just might.
All right, I got to give a salute. Salute to my guy, Chef G Martinez, and my brother from another, my guy, Mr. Dom G from There Goes the Neighborhood every Tuesday night, giving all the relationship, sex advice, everything in between. Yo, salute to him. And our guy, Chef J Martinez, might be holding an event in Brooklyn. We're still trying to iron out those details, Jay. Don't worry. You know I ain't forget you. He's an amazing young man. He gets busy in the kitchen. He showed up to the event. There he goes. There goes Will. All right. Hold up a second.
Sorry.
good.
Did you plug your phone in?
Not know what just happened there.
Well, welcome back on the show.
That was technology.
Oh, wow. So where were we? It's all right.
So basically, ask him what we were just discussing, the things you wanted to know.
Oh, so you, prior to the show tonight, I started doing a little search on you, and you're like everywhere. Like this, you're known, right? So I wanted to know on the business side, what your plans are. Like, what are the future endeavors for you and your business? Are you going to fund grows? Are you trying to open dispensaries? Like, are you trying to start a line of like, what is the overall goal here?
So right now, I'm really, taking this year to grow our telemedicine business. That's a big goal of mine for 2023 is to keep growing and servicing the Pennsylvania, New Jersey communities. There's a couple states we're looking at potentially growing into, especially with states adopting medical marijuana programs. It allows for us to come in and really service a state that doesn't know exactly what they're doing, and depending on the way they write the law, we could come in and kind of model again what we did in Pennsylvania to help doctors promote themselves as a a person who can certify a patient. But really, my goal is I want to build a strong brand, and when I'm ready to make the move into a plant touching business or to work with plant touching operators, I want the market to be there. I've been in this in such a unique way for so many years, and I finally feel like the East Coast is about to pop, and I think the next like 3 to 5 to 10 years, no one's going to recognize the cannabis industry, because this is what I usually say, right? There's the 80-20 rule, and the way I look at life is 20% of the community or the population, they're true believers. They smoke, they vape, they use edibles. If they could get their hands on your sofrito, they'd probably love it. You know what I'm saying? And then you have this 80% of the community to where when we're doing the tablings inside of some of the New Jersey dispensaries that service medical patients and adult use consumers, I mean, we're seeing it in real time. What's going on in these stores and these marketplaces and this and that. It's here. But right now in New Jersey, the MSOs have all of the dispensaries that are open and online. We haven't seen the small players come in who can really build a brand and make a difference, right? Like sometimes you want to go to Olive Garden, but sometimes you want to go to your local Italian restaurant that's the best food in the world.
Right.
Everything's going to have a place. So this 80-20 rule I'm kind of talking about, we see it all the time when we're in a big store like a Curaleaf dispensary that makes it seem okay for someone to come in there and buy cannabis. That person wouldn't go to the smoke shop that's taking a risk. That person isn't going to have a guy. That person is waiting for it to be told to them that this is okay, right?
Yes.
So
right.
I believe that is really how it works, right? There's 20% of people who are in, and there's just 80% of the marketplace that needs the education. They need to be shown what's going on. They need the laws to change. They need the people and the communities to really say this is okay and safe and the right way to do things. So for me, right, I'm a student of this game, bro. I've seen it from so many sides, and to be out here and to be as public as I've been for as many years as I've been doing it, I've picked my spots. And I have tremendous respect for every human being who's ever even allowed me to stand here in this moment with the three of you, and who've laid a foundation for me to do what I love and to speak my truth and to eliminate the stigma and to push it forward. So at the end of the day, yeah, I mean, dude, I want to own hundreds of dispensaries. I do want to own grow facilities. Like I want to be doing this like for forever, and to be 30 and to be 32. And to be 5 years into owning and operating and running my business and
during
helping
the time
you
when
do
it is booming. This time
I mean,
is
5 years from now, this is going to be something unrecognizable. But as long as you stay consistent, you're willing to learn, you can pivot, you can get better, and you jump when the opportunities are there, and you can also say no when you need to say no to stay focused on that mission. That's really the name of the game for me. And I've said no a lot, right? Because, I'm authentic. At least I do my best to be. I want to be real.
Yeah, you can't say yes to everything.
And I don't want anybody who I do business with to work with to be like, you say on your Instagram stories, stay high as a motherfucker, or don't be a fucking asshole, or whatever I do say. And I've had to live and die by that at times. And I've had opportunities come and go because people at the top will see something and they might not resonate with the brand the way the marketing director did. And the guy at the top could be a Orthodox Jewish person and doesn't really like the fact that Jewish sauce boss is intertwining cannabis and Judaism and all this stuff.
Right.
But I've been able to push through it. And even in those moments where the rug gets pulled out from under you or whatever, it's just staying true to the mission, because I've seen some of those people come back around. you know, when you do something long enough and you believe in it and you never quit, and you don't ever give up, and all.
They're like, you're still there. Yeah, I'm still at it. I'm still doing it. Yeah.
They're like,
and then they come back with their tail between their legs. Oh, you know, can we revisit this? Let's talk about this again.
How did you do that again?
Yeah. So yeah, that's it, man. I want to continue to grow. I want to see what this industry has to offer as it continues to come to fruition, and I want to be here every step of the way. However, I could support, you know, your brand, Canna Kitchen. Learn more about you, bro. I think you're like an awesome guy. So yeah, let's keep this flowing.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the sofrito, the cooking base.
Let's go.
Yeah. Got all
I think you guys need to get Will's address and send him.
Look who
there she goes.
Yo.
Canna Kitchen Squad's killing it, bro.
There's three of them.
Sucks, but good to see you again, Will.
Great seeing you as well. I'm glad you could jump in.
So I have been stalking your page rather, and I came across one post. Okay, so I want to play a little game here.
Oh,
I think you called it 5 of 5 or something like that.
Oh yes, you sent us the post.
Right, he's good. Wait a minute. I hope you got some good questions.
I hope he does it. If he's
the game you did with the girl on your couch or her couch.
I'm even better.
Listen,
okay.
The game he played with the girl on the couch.
I'm just saying.
Is that right? You see that? I don't know if this is that kind of podcast.
With the woman. Wait, well, let me say woman first. I want to get you in trouble.
So with the woman, that's right.
I'm gonna ask 5 questions. You have 5 seconds to answer. Right? No, I'm gonna ask yes.
One question.
One question.
5. Yes.
Okay.
So,
this is for you too, Mr. A. Okay. Only because we've had a few interviews, so I'm pretty sure
you should have picked up some knowledge.
So you should have taken some notes. Okay, so this is for Will. Okay, let's see here. Ways to consume cannabis.
smokable, edible, vape, topical.
3. You got 3.
The 5 seconds passed.
5
You were a little
seconds
slow.
Okay. Okay. Canna Kitchen.
I'm not gonna survive this shit.
Oh, what? Are you asking us?
Of course. Canna Kitchen. Let's go.
Okay, let's go. Let's do this.
Our sofrito, our oil, our tincture, our can of sugar.
That's all edible.
Combo dabs, vapes.
Oh, terrible. Terrible.
Hello.
Mr. A. 5 different ways to consume cannabis.
Go.
My mic is muted. That's not fair. Smoke it, eat it.
You got 2.
Cheese.
Time is up.
You got 2.
Jesus Christ. Yo, that clock is fucked up, man. That's too quick.
When ready? Strains of weed.
Go.
Me?
Yeah. You gotta start again.
Chem Dog, Laughing Buddha, Bonkers, Soap, Blue Diesel, Bruce Banner.
Okay, he got it. He got it.
I don't like playing games with high people, man. Y'all be flaunting the rules.
Okay, Canna Kitchen. Are you ready? Wait.
Yes.
Okay, go.
Orangina, jet flu, runs, gorilla glue,
Tropical punch.
Okay, 4.
Runs.
Okay.
zope. She likes the zope.
Some good stuff.
Okay, one more.
Shout out to Savage Leaves.
One more, okay? So medically, why is cannabis good for you?
It helps improve the quality of your life, depending on, what stage of your life you're in, whether you got chronic pain, anxiety, mental health disorders, bowel issues, stomach conditions. It really can change your life. And you don't have to smoke it. You don't even have to, ingest it. You can rub it on your skin or use a patch or, really find the consumption method that suits your needs. And that's where I think the plant can really change people's lives for the better.
Excellent. Canna Kitchen.
What avenues that you don't see now do you see cannabis products? Where do you see it going, becoming prevalent? Not areas that it's in now. Where do you see it going forward? industries that are really maybe not in
Well,
the
I mean,
cannabis.
I would say, like, as it gets more mainstream, you'll see more farmers get involved. Existing farms will find another, revenue stream if they can get a license to grow the cannabis and do their strawberries and do everything else they do. So agriculture is a really huge industry for that. I think also science and research is massive, because the research and the science that needs to take place coincides with the limitations of where cannabis is scheduled on the drug classification scale. So it needs to be removed from Schedule 1 so it can be researched and studied, and then it can be bankable, and then it can be run like every other industry, which is why a plant touching business at times is so challenging, because of all of these nuances you need to face, and all of these restrictions you have as an operator. So I really hope it can just make an impact on existing industries. Like I said, like farmers, I think veterans as well. Like, once we can remove it from those classifications, veterans who are overprescribed all of these terrible medications that really don't help improve their life, maybe there'll be a way where we can give them plant medicine instead. And the ushering in of psychedelics and other modalities to help people heal is going to be an exciting time for all of us to see where it goes. So, yeah.
I find it so crazy in this country, right? That natural things, like a big movement now is microdosing mushrooms, right? I find it crazy that cannabis is a Schedule 1 narcotics, but several years ago, because of the Purdue family's lobbying, Oxycontin was legal, and they were giving it. You know how many people were strung out as teenagers because they were teen athletes and they broke a bone or something happened? And the doctor were like, oh, we're going to prescribe your 12-year-old daughter Oxycontin. And the parents are, oh, okay, it must be good because the doctor's prescribing it. And now you have this epidemic in this country that so many people have addiction issues because of this.
It's sad. Ironically, I work for a pharmaceutical industry. And let me tell you something. It's sad to see they're really young.
Yes, and it's because it was prescribed. But a lot of people that are in the throes of this addiction right now started with legal use. Or if not, it was in the home because a parent got hurt. Yep. Like me, I tell people all the time, if I'm in the hospital, do not prescribe me any kind of Vicodin, codeine, none of that. I will not.
I think there needs to be real conversations, and I'm very sorry to cut you off. I think that there needs to be real conversations surrounding marijuana, or cannabis and pharmaceuticals. And I think that should be approached head on and unabashed and not shy. Because the reality is, I never met one person in my entire life that has ever overdosed from weed. They may eat a lot. They may laugh a lot. They may be some of the most calmest people out there. There isn't an argument made or could be made if you're trying to legislate law that should keep this as Schedule 1. I mean, if you put two users up against each other over a 5-year span, somebody using, opioids and somebody who smokes weed for 5 years, you're going to see the differences in their lives. The outcomes are not going to be the same, right? Absolutely. So those conversations, I think, we definitely need to have. And I think that more people like Will and what you guys are doing, that should always be a part of the conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like, it should be something that's added to whatever you're doing. Like, this does not happen for people who consume cannabis, period. Nobody's sucking dick for no cannabis.
Right.
Not only that,
R.I.P. Butt Saget.
Not only that, the lazy stoner myth is just that. It's a myth. It's a fallacy. I have a full-time job. I work out. When I was younger, sometimes I had 2 jobs and I was raising my son. She has 2 or 3 gigs and a daughter. So does she. Like, this lazy stoner myth, she works out like a beast. I run and work out several times a week. When she's healthy, she does the same thing. Then we have familial obligations and then friendships and all this. This lazy stoner myth, I really don't understand it, because anyone that I know who's a cannabis connoisseur They all
They
fulfill
get busy.
And I clean my house way better. I'm just saying.
Will, are you lazy at all when you're consuming?
You know
Doesn't
what?
it focus you? Doesn't it focus you?
I have a high energy in life in general. So, you know, and I like to consume, I try to make it a little ritualistic. I want to relax. I want to roll it up. I want to smell it. I want that to mean something for me.
Right.
Because it does. So yeah, like I like to relax, but no, I'm far from that stereotype. I'm the kind of guy that'll smoke a joint and go to the gym.
So ambitious with all the things that you want to do with what you're accomplishing. There's no way if you were even remotely lazy on like just like a small level, you wouldn't have, because like that's a lot of work. All these aspects.
And it's the discipline, right? Like we're all human. Right. You know, we all like can default to being lazy at times if we want to be, but we gotta push ourselves to not ever be lazy. And then as people
mentioned the gym. You know that now they're studying that when you consume and go work out, you get additional benefits.
Yeah, I like that. Opens up the lungs, can run farther.
So initial studies have shown that one, you can endure more and your recovery is quicker. And consuming cannabis will offset the DOMS, the delayed onset muscle soreness that people get like 2 days later.
Hit me with some more knowledge. What's
serious? Like, let me know when I'm not that sore
I told
anymore.
you that.
Yeah.
Have some of our sofrito.
Yeah, you make something to eat after the gym.
I love it.
I think they need to somebody needs to come up with a strain. And yeah, I know people are gonna say different things about this because, you know, some cannabis does make you feel, I'm gonna say this in the nicest way possible, ornery, right? But I feel like there should be a strain to make you ornery as you get on in life. When you can't be taking these pills, like pharmaceuticals, we want to do away with them, right? And the pharmaceutical industry has a lock for gentlemen who have problems, you know, later on in life. They should probably come up with a strain, you know, to help with that on both sides, men and women.
Listen, I'm sure it's in the lab somewhere, with the seeds and the sprouts and the. I'm sure it's happening somewhere.
Well, you need to market that, man.
So a friend of mine, she's awesome. Her you know, her brand is called Canna Sexual. Okay, so she's an expert. You know, she's a sex expert, a cannabis expert, and there's really unique products that are out there that are serving that marketplace, right? Whether it's an ointment infused with THC. Yeah, I've seen some cool things out here regarding, you know, that industry as well, right? You know, that's a whole industry in itself, you know.
And what's her company?
Her brand is called Canna Sexual. She's based out of Los Angeles. She's really, really cool woman and does a lot of great work. I think she has a book, you know, that she wrote on the, you know, all these different intersections that she, you know, puts out to the world. But yeah, she's super cool. Someone I enjoy her content, and she's a good soul. So you can check her out. Canna Sexual.
Yeah, you guys specifically need to be in these events. Like, I think that's a huge part of your making, because I you know, from listening to what Will said about his start and how he corralled all these things to make them happen. Getting out there is like, you know, the huge thing for you guys.
We got to make a lot of noise.
So I told the girls at the beginning of this year that we have to, and my exact words were, we have to ruthlessly market ourselves. Those were my exact words.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to be out your personalities. Like, if I bumped into Will, right, at an airport, at a bar, wherever, like, you know, even at a concert or whatever, right? The energy that Will gives off is a receiving energy, right? Absolutely. He's very receiving, very welcoming. You guys, with your three personalities, you're giving people a balance, and you need to play that to your best, you know, to your benefit. And with Will, as you can see here, you guys have him come on the show. There's no, you don't see him closing up like, I don't want to tell you you understand? He wants to impart this knowledge to you. You guys have this same directive. You guys have the same energy. You get out there, people will take to you.
No, you're definitely welcoming because at Weiss, I mean, wasn't he the only guy? You were the only guy.
Yes, he was the only guy.
So everybody was just
Yo, Mr. A, they asked me to close out the event and give the closing remarks at the Women in Cannabis Expo. And let me just paint you this picture.
Women in Cannabis.
I'm sitting at the panel, and it's
That's
like
cool.
last thing of the day, and there's like 4 women and me, and I'm drinking this cannabis wine, and like, I'm like up there ripping my vape, drinking the wine. I'm like, I ain't gotta say one more word. This is great. and then the MC was like, Will, why don't you come up here and close us out? I was like, oh.
I'm so fucking baked.
I was like,
I mean, we all were really. We all
it
were.
was a cool moment, and I was really.
It was an excellent event.
Brooke is great. Yes, Brooke is great.
Yeah, I hope they do it again this year, and bring back that experience, because Atlantic City is a fun place and another marketplace that's going to be really unique and one might be really good for you guys, especially with the intersection of casinos and hospitality and all these different things.
Hey, Will, one more thing. I'm going to talk to you afterwards because I have my medical cannabis card, but the process to obtain it here was.
Well, that's what he does. He facilitates that process.
But you have to reside in Pennsylvania or Jersey?
Yeah.
So we specialize in New Jersey.
Oh, you know what? I'm asking only because I have a few. Remember, I work at the farm. Patients that are. Sorry. I know I have patients that are interested, and I'm like, I don't know how to send you to my doctor because it's just the process is crazy.
Yeah, it is. I mean, that's the whole thing. Like every state's so different. The compliance is different. But if there's any way we can try to help you or your people, just let us know.
Oh, they just knocked off their connection. and it's crazy because I was just about to close out the show.
Amazing, brother. I appreciate you.
Listen, Will, I want to say a couple of things to you before you go. First of all, tell everybody where they can find you.
You can always find us at Jewish Sauce Boss. That's our handles on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, JewishSauceBoss.com. And if anyone needs a med card, JSB Certifications.com in Pennsylvania and New Jersey can facilitate with that. And we're out here in the community. You can find us.
Okay. And are there any future events like in the very near future happening for you that you can share with the audience?
So I don't have any within like the next month on the docket, but there's going to be a really exciting event in the summer in Pennsylvania called Pocono 420. It's going to be in the Poconos, and it's going to be a massive outdoor cannabis friendly event that I know is going to be drawing on the tri-state area, everywhere from New York to New Jersey, probably everywhere in between. And we have an office on South Street in Philadelphia. It's private. It's lovely. It's friendly to the cannabis community. You can medicate there, and we do a lot of fun things within our space that we've worked really hard to cultivate. So
we'll pay a visit.
Please come by anytime. We're here, and we're about to really make it cool for the patients that we've helped, and just kind of drive it forward, and the content creation, and just being an anchor for the community and keep showing up the way that we do. So if you're ever in Philly, if you ever need a place, if you ever want to come burn,
we definitely going to be making our rounds.
If you need
any events that you could throw our way, we'll definitely come. Let us know.
Listen, Will, my wife is texting me, making sure I'm taking notes. Yeah.
Well, we want to send you a care package. How do we?
Wait, but is he if he's kosher? Our stuff isn't kosher. Are you?
No, I'm good. I'm good. I eat. I love food.
Okay,
He eats,
okay. All right. They're like, yeah, we're gonna send. I'm like, hot
So,
for you.
I'll email you. I'll
Yes.
send you my address and we'll get all linked up.
Not
I
good.
appreciate you guys. Thank you for the opportunity to be on the show.
Listen,
Yeah.
Will. It was amazing having you here. If
Yes.
you have anything in the future that you want to promote, if there's anything that you're doing personally, if there's a change in business, just something that you want people to know about, feel free to reach out. You're part of the home here, so our
Yes.
platform is your
That's
platform.
it.
All right.
Thank you so
Just-
much.
It was a pleasure having
Of
you.
course.
Thank you, Will.
We're gonna tuck you in the green room while we close out the show.
Cool.
Just give us a minute, all right?
All right, you guys be good. I'm gonna hop. See you.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
guys. Have a good one.
Pleasure. Peace.
Bye.
So that guy seems like he's about it.
Yes.
Yes,
He's
he
a great
is.
guest.
Yeah.
Did you guys have fun?
Yes. I mean, we worked through a lot of technical difficulties.
What
But-
happened?
The computer got dead.
I was telling Bertha, plug
series
in
of
the computer,
unfortunate
plug in
events.
the computer, and
That's
she
what
didn't
it's a
listen.
series of unfortunate events.
All right. Before
Before
first, I want to announce that I'm about to be an uncle again. My niece just went into labor, Angelica, so she's in the hospital.
she's having
She's
a
a-
boy, right?
Yeah, she's having a boy. Yep, Julian. That's his name,
Nice.
Julian. So she's in the hospital. She's about to give birth. Salute to our guy, our partner, Sally Sasson. He had an appointment today, so he couldn't be with us tonight. And lastly, Ms. B. Chanel has taken a hiatus. She has something going on for her, so she's
Okay.
taking a hiatus until further notice. But we
Okay.
want to make sure that she's getting the best possible focus right now. Like I said, she's
good energy.
Sending love and
and beautiful, good love. Well, love and good energy. Yes, all of that. So salute to her. And girls, I had a great time tonight. I hope you enjoyed the show as much as I did.
We did.
Yeah.
The Jewish Sauce Bus came through, dropping jewels. It was good conversation, good exchange of energy. It was good. It was a good show.
So the wine that he was talking about.
Pero tú me soltaste haciendo esa mierda. You turning the camera, but a wine out of nowhere.
No. He mentioned the wine,
Somebody
the
broke it.
herb infusions.
Right.
Hopefully, she's our next guest. And then I have the Lola, the Audubon Hayes Society,
yes.
that she couldn't be on this week.
And then at some point, your brother.
Yes.
Man.
Okay, Mr. Mark Manuel.
Yes.
He was when you guys first came on the show. I don't know if you remember. He was in the
I
room.
remember.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
So we're working.
All right.
He's a good
Yes.
person to talk to because he helps veterans. Like they could really benefit from our products.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Well, ladies, I had a wonderful time. Bertha, I'm glad you made it there safely. I know the traffic was crazy. As always,
Insane.
Yes.
as always, guys, I enjoyed talking to you. And everybody will be back next week at 7. We'll have another amazing guest, and we'll get to it. All right? Real people tell
Thank
good
you for
stories.
playing.
Lois. Even though I lost, I had fun.
Have a
Thank
good
you
night, and we'll see you
ladies.
guys soon.
Of course. Take care.
Good night. Congratulations again.
Yeah, regards to the family.
Thank you.
Happy, my love.